This is Dion. Today I'm going to show you the basics of HTML. So if you don't have a text editor already, head on over to brackets.io. That's the text editor we'll be using in this tutorial. Why brackets? Well, for one, it's free. So we always want free, and also it's just the easiest to get started with when you first starting to write code and you want to be able to immediately see the results in the browser. So let's get right into it. So if you're able to download Brackets or some other text editor like Visual Studio Code or Atom that you like to use, you may have come to a getting started screen like this. This is Brackets getting started screen. And you'll see here this is their little code, and if I hit this lightning bolt on here, you'll see it displays in the browser here. So we want to actually make our own HTML file. So I'm going to go ahead and brackets and hit new, and I'm going to save this as index.html. That's pretty much what every server is looking for when it's looking for an HTML file. And I'm going to save this to the desktop. Yeah, there's a desktop right there. Save that to the desktop. And now we got a brand new file to work with. So let's get over to the desktop, and there it is there. But I want to make a folder to put this in so that brackets will act the way we want it to. I'm just going to name this code, and I'm going to bring this HTML file in there, and let me turn this into a list. Alright, cool. And I'm going to put a new folder in there and call it images. And this is more like what a developer's working situation looks like. A folder of images in there, because we're going to be adding some images eventually. So let's close all of that out. Move this over, and we want to open the entire folder in brackets. Yeah, let's open the whole folder up, and it's going to do all of this weird stuff, but this is what we want. Alright, great. Okay, so the first thing you want to do with HTML is basically tell the browser, hey, this is an HTML document, right? So when this page loads, look for some HTML. This is how we do that. Put in .type, and it starts with a little exclamation mark there first. Sometimes you'll see .type in lowercase. It works in lowercase, but for the most part, you'll see it in uppercase. So you put .type and then HTML. HTML, by the way, stands for hypertext markup language. It's very fancy, right? It sounds cool, hypertext markup language, but you won't hear anybody saying the whole thing. We just call it HTML. So after you tell the browser, hey, look for some HTML, the next thing you actually want to do is to give it some actual HTML, right? That makes sense. And so the first thing to do is you want to type in these tags. Now HTML has this tagging system with this structure of an opening and a closing tag. So we'll open it with the HTML tag, and you see it closes, and the only difference with the closing tag is this little / here. So HTML has this structure of like a hamburger, where you have like a top bun, a bottom bun, and you put everything you want inside of there, like some ingredients. So you told it the browser, look for HTML, and you've given it HTML, so the browser is looking good now. And so the first thing you want to do is go into the head tag. And the head tag usually starts off every website here, and you can see that it follows the same structure of the hamburger with an opening and a closing tag. Inside of the head tag, you want to write the title of this website. So you use the title tag, which also has opening and closing. And hey, since we're web developers, we're just going to title this, you can put your own name. I'm going to put Dion's portfolio. And there you have it. Now I'm going to hit the little lightning bolt here, and you'll see that Dion's portfolio appears right here in the tab. That's what we want. If I wanted to make this like my full name, Dion Lewis, and in English you don't put the apostrophe with an S and then another S, but you get the point. Dion Lewis portfolio. Or I can put a dash, Dion Lewis portfolio. But you see, whatever you put there appears there in the tab there. So now we want to close out of this and actually start putting stuff on this page, right? So to do that, we'll add the body tag. And the body tag forms just like a hamburger as well, with an opening and a closing. And inside of the body tag, basically whatever you start typing here appears on the web page. But what's interesting is, even though I'm going to another line on here, it's staying in a straight line over there. So in HTML, which is basically like the skeletal structure of a website, you actually have to start giving it like different structures so that when it appears on a web page, it doesn't just go on a straight line. Because this is how a computer reads everything. Everything is in a straight line to a computer, but we want to make our code human readable, basically. So the first thing you'll see on a web page is probably like what, a logo in the left hand corner here, right? The logo or whatever the site is. And so to make a logo or an image, we would use the image tag. But unlike the other tags that we just went through, the image tag does not have an opening and closing structure. The image tag closes itself, and that's because when you put image, this img as the tag, you'll be putting the actual source of the image. That's what this src equals stands for. You'll put the source of it right here in these quotations, and then just like a hot dog instead of a hamburger, it closes itself up. So the image tag's a self-closing tag. Let's go ahead and grab us a actual image. So I'm here on pixabay.com. Pixabay has free images, like it says, stunning free images. The key here is royalty-free stock images. So we don't have to worry about any copyright issues here. So I'm just going to look for a logo. And let's see if we can grab a logo we can use. And this one looks good. Let's download that. We'll download the smallest version of it, since it's just a logo in the header. This is not something we're using that's going to be huge. So we'll download that. Okay, so I have the logo downloaded here. I'm just going to drag it out of the downloads folder and put it into that code folder, and you can see it appeared over here. So now we're going to rename that, because this is that file name is way too long. I'm not using that whole name like that. Let's just name that flower.png. You know, you want to make it easy for yourself if you can. So the flower.png, now let's also move that into the images folder. Alright, good. So let's bring this back up. And now if I put in /images, that takes the browser into the images folder. And look at this populating already. That's the cool thing about these text editors. They know what you're thinking. And so images, inside of the images folder, then you put in flower.png, and you have your nice logo over here. So let me move this over so we have some more space to work with, because we have more structure that we have to put in. So the next thing you'd see on a website would be like a menu, right? Either in the right hand corner or even in the middle, or something that slides from the left to the right, or drops down, or something like that. So you'll start seeing stuff like you know, maybe home, right? And maybe services, and services, about, right? There's usually an about, and then contact, maybe even a blog, right? And this is normally how, you know, you see a website logo and then some menu. But we want this menu to link to either the pages that they're going to or the sections of the page they're going to be in. So let's start making some links. And to make a link is very easy. You just use the A tag, and this word href equals, and in quotations, just like the image source, you're going to put what you're linking it to. The A tag also is opening and closing tag, so it follows the hamburger structure as well. And so normally with the A tag, you could link to the home page by just putting a / like this, and that will take you back to the regular domain of the server. So if I take home and put it inside of this little hamburger structure here, there you have the link there. Alright, very good. Now, the reason this is called an A tag or anchor tag is weird. Basically, this A tag, and the href, it stands for hypertext reference. Basically, when the web first started, developers looked at the anchor tag as if like you were on a ship and a web page was the water that you were sailing on, and if you wanted to jump from one spot in the water to the other and just anchor down to that spot, that's how surfing the web is, right? Just sailing on a website, and you drop an anchor down to stop at a certain point, because the A tag was originally intended just to link on the one page, not really to link out to all of these other pages. So that's the A tag. That's the reasoning behind that. It seems kind of weird, but hey, that's the way it is. So let's make some more links here. Then we'll do the hypertext reference equals, and let's close that out. And we'll just copy this and make some more. So we got 4 more to make, or 3 more to make. So 1, 2, 3. And we'll take services and put it inside of there, just like you would put some meat or lettuce or tomatoes or pickles on a hamburger bun. And contact, we'll put that in there, like some cheese. And maybe we'll even add a blog, right? Alright, just like some mustard or something like that. Alright, so normally you would link these to whatever page they're going to, or whatever spot they're going to be on a page. But sometimes you'll see just inside of these quotations just a hashtag like this. And that's just a placeholder. When you click on it, it will not go anywhere. See, it stays on the page. Other times you may see like the entire URL of the site. So you may see something like https:// and I'll make up just a dummy domain. So like myportfolio.com, and then / wherever this page is. So this was an about page. Normally that's how that link would look. On contact, you could also, instead of putting the entire domain, just put this will be called like the absolute link. You could put just the relative link, which would just be the end of it. So I could put contact like that. And instead of putting all of this in, you could just write it out like that. And now you also might want to link out to a site. So like HTTPS. And say your blog was hosted on like medium.com. You could link out to that. But if you're ever linking off of your own site, normally you would want to make it open in a new tab. And to do that, you would just hit or type in target equals. And if you put underscore blank, that will open this in a new tab. So if I click this, that will open medium.com in a new tab instead of taking the person like all the way off of your site. So this is like the structure of a basic website, and we got different examples of what would link in there. But there's debate over whether you should actually just link the main menu like this. And so normally, if you look behind the code, you will see this menu inside of the nav tag. And the nav follows the hamburger principle as well. There's an opening and closing. And so you see how that now just organized this here. It knows that we're about to put this in there. So if I take this and put that in the nav tag, now the browser knows, okay, this is inside a navigation menu. But now to add to this, because there's even more debate on whether you can just link like this. Let me tab this over so it's a little bit even here. Normally you would see this in what's called an unordered list. And here's the structure for the unordered list. It's a UL tag. And so an unordered list will make something like basically what you would see on a bullet point list in like a Word document or Google Docs. Inside of the unordered list, you would put what's called a list item tag, or an LI tag, which has opening and closing tags in it. You'll see like a little bullet point appeared over here. And we want to put each one of these links inside of the list item. And so let's copy and let's make some more of these. So I think we have 5 here. Make 5 of those. And it's generally accepted, but still being debated over, that when you're structuring your main menu, you actually should put it inside of an unordered list, inside of these list items. And that's because for screen readers, individuals who are visually impaired, have screen readers that basically they have the site read to them. It's read to them, or they can hear it better inside of a list, instead of just having a screen reader read the different links. So let's see, what did I do here? I messed something up. Let's undo that one. Yeah, let's copy and paste that in there the right way. And that's the basic structure that you'll see in the header of a website. So this is what it looks like when there's no CSS applied to a site. It looks like we're back in the 90s. Now here's a key point when it comes to linking, not only just text, but you can link images too. And I see a lot of junior developers just get confused over how to do this for some reason. And that's if you wanted to link this image wherever you want to link it to. Most people have this link to the home page, but if you want to link an image in general, it's very easy. You just make an A tag like we've been doing, and you make the little hamburger, and you just take the image tag and put it inside of the A tag, and that's it. That's all you have to do to link an image. And like I said, the logo is normally linked back to the home page, so we could put like a little backspace there as well. Alright, so now let's get into the main body of this web page here. Let's create some more space here, and let's introduce a new tag, the section tag. This is part of HTML5, and as you probably guessed, it just means, hey, we're in a new section of the website, right? So anything under the header and that's visible on the browser, you'll hear this section of the website a lot of times called the hero section, or above the fold. So if the web page was an actual newspaper, this visible part would be above where the newspaper would be folded at. And so whatever you call it, hero section, above the fold, you basically could use the section tag to begin creating that. So inside of the section tag, we'll put an image. And again, remember the image tag is self-closing, so it's more like a hot dog than it is a hamburger. So we'll close it up. And what we want to do is actually, instead of using an image that we're hosting, like we did up here, we're going to use an image that's hosted on a different website, or hosted from a different website. So I'm back here at pixabay.com. Let's look up technology, right? Because, hey, we're smart, we're developers, we want a technology type image. And you know what? This looks good. You can't really go wrong with a laptop and coffee. So instead of downloading it this time, we are going to open this image in a new tab. And let me minimize this so that we can actually see the URL there. So this is the URL that we want. So let's copy this URL here, and we're going to paste this right here in these quotes. And you're going to see this image just appear right over here. So there's our hero image. It looks very nice, very technical. And underneath the hero image, we're going to give it, or put our first header tag. So just like a Microsoft Word doc or a Google Doc, where you have like a main large piece of text that tells you what the document is about, we have that for web pages, and we'll use the H1 tag to do that. The H tag or header tag goes all the way up to H6. I personally never really used past maybe H4, most likely H3, but they go all the way up to H6. The H1, for SEO purposes, you really want to make sure that you're putting in there what this web page or website is, what the page is about. And so we'll just put this as Deion Lewis Portfolio, and you put your own name there. And that way when Google or some other search engine searches this and it sees this as the H1, you know, it'll know how to optimize that or crawl this correctly as far as knowing what's the most important thing on the site. So that's the header tag there, and you can see that I put that right there. So the next tag we want to learn about, it also has an opening and closing tag, is the P tag, which stands for paragraph. And what we'll do is we'll grab some lorem ipsum text, placeholder text to put in there. So let's go over to loremipsum.io. Alright, so here on loremipsum.io, we'll just copy this here, hit the copy button, and we'll go ahead and paste this in. And there is our nicely structured paragraph. Not bad. So that will conclude this hero section. And that's normally what you have, just like a header here, maybe some text describing something, maybe not, maybe some type of call to action or button that links somewhere else. So we'll get out of this section here, and I'll show you a new tag here. This is also a self-closing tag. It's called the HR tag, or horizontal rule tag, self-closing like a hot dog, and it just puts a little line right there. So now let's open up a new section, and inside of this section we'll put a H2 header 2 tag, and for this tag, let's see, what was the next section up here? Let's just make this, let's make this the about section. And we'll take that out of all caps. You'll see that the browser still styles the H2 the same size as the H1. So different browsers style the H2s and H1s differently. This time in Chrome, it's just showing it as the same size as the H1. But underneath here, we'll open up a new tag here, and that is the div tag. The div tag is like basically your most versatile tag. You can use a div for anything. You can use divs even in place of like the section tag. Div is very generic. it stands for division. It's just another division or way to divide elements on a page. And so you'll actually see the div tag used way more on websites, even more than like the paragraph tag here. And actually, if you'll notice, I'll take this placeholder text here, copy it. If I paste this into the div tag, the browser displays it just like it displays the paragraph tag. So that's the div tag. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, but it's just another divider on the site. Now in the div tag, we're going to look at some other tags that we can look at. So if you wanted to make this here bold, this lorem ipsum right here, you could just put the strong tag, which is opening and closing, and if we take lorem ipsum dolor, copy that and paste it inside of this little hamburger structure, you're going to notice that now that is in bold. Likewise, if you wanted to bold this or italicize maybe this text down here, let's find that. You could use EM or emphasis, and you copy that and you paste that inside of there, and now you have the words italicized. So that's how you bold and that's how you italicize. And again, this is also for screen readers as well, for those who are visually impaired. When a screen reader reads the website, it'll also notice that the H2 there, this is the second most important thing on the page, but it'll read this strongly so that the person who's visually impaired knows this is important. It'll also read this with emphasis so that they know that this part is being stressed as well. So that's the bold and emphasis tag. Now we can create us another little HR or horizontal rule and make us another section, and make us another little section here. Use the section tag, hamburger structure, and for this we will put the H3 tag, and inside of the H3 we'll make this the contact section. Alright, and you'll notice the browser styled this slightly smaller than the H1 and the H2. So in here I'm going to show you another way to write a list, and that is the ordered list. So you just put OL, and it's similar to like what we did up here with the unordered list, but the ordered list, and we'll make our list items here, we'll actually number them from 1 until however many you make. So we'll make like 3 of these, and inside of here, since this is the contact section, we can put email, right? And we'll just make up a little dummy email. How about we'll just say me at me.com. And so that's the email. We could do a phone number, and we'll just put 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, right? And then we could also do like a text message thing too. So if you wanted to text, we could do the same thing. 987 1 2 3. Why am I making this so hard? 4 5 6 7. Alright, so that's your text. So now you could actually make this or link these out to either the email or the phone number, or even the text messaging app. So if you remember how we made that hyperlink structure here, the A tag and the href equals, and we'll close that up. If I want to, if we want to do an email, you just type in here mail to colon and then the email address, which we said was me@me.com. So if we wanted to have this link, you just take the text, put it inside of the link, then take the link. You could put it anywhere. Of course, this is where we want it, right next to the email. And now when you click this, it is going to open up the Mail app, which I don't use Mac's native Mail app. And so the same thing goes for telephone. We'll do another href equals, close it up, and in here, instead of mail to, we'll just do tail, and whatever the number is, and you don't have to put the dashes. So we just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And you take the phone number, put it inside of there. There it is there. But we want it right next to where it says phone at. And so if I click this, this is going to open up FaceTime to try to make a phone call, which we don't want to do. And then the same thing for the text messaging app. You do your href equals, close it up, and instead of tail, you put SMS. And what did we say? It was 987 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you take the little numbers there, put it in there. And if we put it down there and I click that, it's going to open text messaging or messages here, which is trying to do there. Alright, so that is the ordered list. So now we can close out of this section and we'll make another little HR, since that's what we've been doing. And now you want to make your footer section, which you could just put footer, and it has the structure of an open and a close and tag. And that's where you put wherever you want, copyright, or you could put like website. I'll put website design by Dion Lewis. And again, you can link or make this like a link to your email. So if I took this here and I copy that and paste it in front of Dion Lewis, and then made a little A tag at the end of that, now you see that that's linking out again. And this is the basic structure that you'll see on almost pretty much every website. Your header section, of course this isn't styled, but your header with your navigation menu, a large image or something, some content here, about, contact, your website there. But remember I said that the A tag was like originally intended to link to different parts of the page. So let's see how we could do that. Remember, they looked at it like it was just a ship that was sailing across the web page and you wanted to drop an anchor somewhere. So if we go up to contact and I wanted to link that down below to the contact section, we could just take this off and you will put in hashtag contact. And to make this actually work, we actually have to go down and inside of the contact section put ID equals contact. And now if we scroll up, and there we have it, just making sure that matches up. If I click contact, it will jump down to the contact section of the page. So that's how you do it. This is connected to that ID there. And that's the basics of HTML. So what did we learn? Well, we learned that there are HTML elements that have an opening and closing tag that are like a hamburger that you put things inside of. But there's also HTML elements that closes itself like a hot dog. And if you start nesting all of these together, it forms like a barbecue HTML kebab. And you put all of these together on a single web page or multiple web pages that form a website, you basically have a full meal of a website. But you might be thinking, okay, how do I take this off of my computer and actually put it on to the internet? Well, you could host the web page or website on your computer, but if you ever turn the computer off or it broke, the website would turn off and break. So you really want to use a hosting service that's dedicated to keeping the site online at all times. You can use something free like GitHub, or you can use a full hosting service that you pay for like Bluehost, GoDaddy, or my personal favorite right now, which is SiteGround. And you can get more complex by using like cloud servers, like AWS, and things like that. But that's the basics of HTML. There are more complex topics such as CSS, JavaScript, forms, tables with HTML email development, but that all you don't need right now just to make a simple web page. So I hope you learn a lot, and thank you. Class dismissed.